Hello and welcome back. In this series, we will see how can we create a private event and broadcast through a secure channel. So first, we will be configuring JWT authentication. Second, we will be creating a new event to broadcast on a private channel. And lastly, we will code in Vue.js so that system can subscribe logged in user to a private channel and listens to the broadcast event. Let's start with point one, that is integrating JWT authentication in our backend. So let me open up the official documentation, JWT auth read the docs.io. We have already installed the JWT auth package via Composer. So the next step would be adding this line into providers array in config.app.php. So let me grab this. And let me add at the end of the array, publish the vendor through this command. Let me go to backend and paste this command. And then we need to generate the secret token. Let's wait while, okay. The vendor has been published the file. So we have our configuration for JWT in jwt.php here. Let's now generate the secret key. With this command, the Laravel has generated the secret key and added into the env file. That is done. Now in the next phase, we will be creating a new controller, and before that we need to implement JWT subject contract in user model. So let me open up the user model. Copy this line and implement the user subject. And then we need to implement these two methods as well. Here I am just passing email address of logged in user with custom claims, and that I will do using this of email. Okay, now let's configure the auth guard. Go to config auth.php, default guards, let's change to API, and in guards API driver must be changed to JWT. Okay, so the guards are in place. Now go to routes api.php and copy these routes. Then generate the auth controller. And copy paste this code into it. Go to auth controller and copy paste the code. Okay, now authenticated request, we will be using authorization header for that. Rather than sending a token in get parameters, we will be sending authorization token in authorization header, and that we can check with postman. So our routes for login would be maybe let's check how many routes are available for us now. Okay, we will be using API auth login for JWT authentication. And before we make AJAX request, I think we first need to migrate. So let's quickly do that. PHP artisan migrate. That will create the table. Then let's create one user in the table with PHP artisan Tinko. $user equals to new /app/user of name test user of email test@test.com and user of password. We need to encrypt our password with bcrypt function. I'm keeping it simple: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And let's save this user. Okay, we have created our user, and let's use email address and password to check whether we have successfully set up our JWT token in Laravel or not. So I will be passing email as test.test.com. Let me just make sure. Okay, we are using right email, and password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Let's hit send. Okay, we have successfully created access token. That means we have successfully set up our JWT authentication in backend. Now next step would be we will be creating a new event for sending it on a private channel. So let's create a private event. Let me close the Tinker. PHP artisan make event, and I'm naming this event as a user event. Let me close all this and concentrate on user event. Let's implement should broadcast contract. Channel name, let's name it as user dot $these of user of ID. That means we need to pass this user object. So let's first create a public variable $user. $these of user equals to $user. So I'm passing a user object and I have also imported the namespace. So this of user I am already passing, and that I am adding into the private channel. Let's modify the event name. And let's also pass some data with it. And let me pass the user object that we are passing. Now that we have created this event, we have to guard this event with unauthorized access. And how we can do that? Let's go to backend, PHP artisan make channel user channel. That will create new folder broadcasting, and in that we will have user channel.php. By default, we are expecting a user object in join method. Let's add one more variable there. And I'm naming this variable as a user ID from client. And I'm writing the logic of whom I should authorize to listen to this channel by simply returning okay. So our guard is in place, but then we have to apply this guard. So go to routes/channel.php, and in that broadcast on channel, our channel name is user.id. We are getting a user column and then the wildcard. And we are applying our guard user channel. Make sure you are having this namespace included, and that will apply our guard on user channel, and that will limit the unauthorized access. So in the third and final step, we are going to configure the front end. So let me go to Vue.js, that is front end. And let me first install Axios by running command npm install Axios. Okay, Axios package is imported. Now to save the time, I have imported a boilerplate code. So let me just walk you through with the code. First, I have imported the Axios. Then I have set the base URL for every request at as/API. Then I have imported, I have placed interceptor that will add a authorization header for every URL or every request except auth login. So when we are making any request on /auth/login route, it will not add authorization header, but for every other request it will place authorization header. Now let's go to app.view. In app.view I have added one more route for dashboard. In views I have added a dashboard component. In this dashboard component I have added one button where when I click on the button it will execute this method, and in this method I have placed the code to get the user from backend, and then I'm placing an echo object and then calling to a private channel. So echo object is the same, except I'm placing auth header this time, since we are making a call to private channel and we are listening to private channel user dot and this dot id that we are fetching from here. We are setting this dot id from the response that we are getting from the user, and finally we are console log everything that we get from a backend. That is for dashboard.view. Now let's go to home.view. In home.view I have added this form. It is a very simple form where it is not submitting, but it is executing a login method, and the login method is like this. It is making a post request to /API/auth/login. Remember we have set the URL here /API, and if we make a successful API call, then then we are expected to get a token in response data token, and that we are setting in local storage, and once it is been set we are redirecting user to dashboard route. Now the routes, go to router file, and in that router file we have added one more route for dashboard where we have named the route as a dashboard, and that is why we could make redirect using named route as shown in home.view, like this. Okay, so that I guess sums up all the Vue.js code. Now let me run the Vue.js instance by running command npm run serve. And that will start the instance on localhost broadcast.loc with 8080 port. Let me refresh this page. Okay, we are getting this error and we are already familiar with this error. So we are getting this error because we have not started our Laravel-echo-server. So let me open new command prompt and start Laravel-echo-server. Okay, here we are also getting some error, and that is because we have not started our Redis server. That's why. And let's start the Redis server to eliminate this error. Now the server is ready. Let me minimize this. Okay, let's start our queue as well. Sorry, let me go to backend first and then run this command. Okay, now we are listening for the queue. Here let's add our credentials. Let's get rid of this error and click on login. Okay, let's check whether our token is successfully stored or not. It is, and we are successfully redirected to dashboard. Now in the dashboard we have written our logic. Dashboard view. When we click on the button, it executes a get user method, and in get user method first we are making an AJAX request to server and getting the user, currently logged in user, and then we are starting our echo. So console log, and the moment I will click on this button, it will here in Laravel-echo-server will execute uh, or authenticate a user and start listening to the channel. So let me click on this get user and start listen. Okay, we have made an attempt to authenticate a user, but then we are getting an error, and error says USRF token mismatch. Okay, so let's go backend, verify user token, and before that I think we need to go to Laravel-echo-server JSON, copy this endpoint. This endpoint Laravel has created by itself, and it is used for authenticating the user for broadcasting. So if you want to make any change, if you want to use your custom authentication logic, you can place your own URL here, and then you can handle authentication by yourself. But for now we are using Laravel's inbuilt authentication system, and we are grabbing this code, and in backend verify CSRF token, let's exclude this URL, and let me restart this server again. And see, this time we have been successfully authenticated. Now let me open one more terminal and go to backend again, PHP artisan tinker. Let's grab the user first. Since we have only one user, and let's dispatch the event /app/events/user event and pass this user object, because we are expecting this user object in user event in constructor. Before hitting that, let me just get rid of this any error, and let me dispatch this event. Sorry, I missed new. Okay, my event has been dispatched and it is being processed, and through Laravel-echo-server we are also listening to that event as well. And here we have made a successful call. Now let me do one more thing just to make it very clear. Let me create one more user in database. Let me name it as another user. Name it as a test2. Email as test2@test.com, and password I'm using the same one. With bcrypt function. Okay, I'm opening a new window in incognito mode and having the same URL. Let's first make sure that we are not authenticated by going to application, local storage. We don't have our access token set, so that means we are not authenticated as of now. Let's grab this email. Okay, now we are authenticated and we have been redirected to dashboard. Let me start listening to this event as well. Here it has authenticated another user. See, this ID is different from this one. So we have now two concurrent users logged in into our system. And I'm dispatching a new event. Let me first clear all the consoles. /app/events/user event, and I'm passing another user. Okay, the event has been processed. Now you feel the difference. We have broadcasted our event on channel private user.2 with the same event, but the channel is different. So that is why a user 1 will not get the console log, because this user is not authorized to listen to that channel, but user 2 has got the console log. So there are two concurrent users, and the event generated for specific user, only that user will receive the broadcast. The another user is not authorized, and hence he will not